So today I'll actually be doing the first mod, or actually technically second mod to the Z. First thing I did was I took out a dumb spring on the clutch that made it feel like it wasn't there. But the second thing, I'm not sure if you can see those two big boxes over there, I got some new seats for the car because I am way too fat for the seats that are in that car. I actually sit on top of the bolstering and it's absolutely horrible. So I bought some Corbeau seats. I'll open those up and show you them. And I'm actually going to pull the Z in here. So I'll give it a little quick walk around and show you guys it. And I'll plop those seats in. If you can't tell by the mess in here, I also was a little bit wrong about assuming we'd be able to pull a car in here. It like barely fit. And trying to get anything done would have been completely useless. So kind of putting the RX-7 on hold until it's kind of warm out. But as you could have seen in that last video with Josh, we kind of figured out that it was probably the O2 sensor. So when it starts to get warmer, I'll grab another one of those and stick it in, and hopefully it should be fine. And there's a couple other projects I might try to do before the spring. But overall, it might be a little bit of slow uploads until it gets warmer. So just a heads up. So I'm just going to get my aunt's behemoth out of the way so I can pull the Z in. So here it is. It's salty, it's covered in snow, it's in terrible lighting, and it's still pretty. I've wanted one of these ever since they came out in '09, when I was in high school. And I mean, I got bored with the Subaru. That car was really practical and it was quick, but it just didn't have that sports car feel that I always like in all my cars. So I picked this up, and I mean, I've had it for a few weeks now, and I mean, I know it's really early to tell, but I'm literally obsessed with this car. It's amazing. It's just great. That's it. Get one. They're amazing. Unless you are fat like I am. So I am a 38-inch waist. Like I wouldn't even say the seats are snug. They're beyond. I am far beyond what these seats were designed for. So I sit on the bolstering, not in the bolstering, and on long trips that just destroys like my back, and I get pain and all this stuff. So as much as I wanted to wait and do anything to this car, I just had to bite the bullet and get some new seats. I looked at a bunch of brands, but I decided to go with Corbeau's because I've had them in my Miata. I have them now in the RX-7, and I know their quality is great for their price. So I decided to go with some of their kind of more street-oriented reclinable seats they have, and I'll open them up and we'll take a look. There she is. There you have it. Ta-da. So here's the seat itself. I'm really stoked with how clean these look. I'm sitting in it. I'm probably definitely the upper end of what the seat fits, and it said it fit up to a 38 comfortably. And I can feel I'm not on top of the bolstering, I'm actually inside it. And the shoulders fit nice. The back bolstering is fantastic. I'm so out of shape. I just like moved a box and I'm like out of breath. I'm actually really stoked because I was really nervous that these were going to be too tight too. You know, I'll run with it if it's a race seat, especially because, you know, you just slip into them and they're tight, and that's the point. But when it's meant to be a street seat, sometimes the tightness of them doesn't come off and you don't actually fit inside it. You kind of sit on top of it. So it's really tricky. It's actually, I honestly find it easier to fit into a racing seat than I do a factory seat, unless it's like a family sedan. But we're talking sports cars and bolsters and buckets. You know, good words, all good words that mean fun driving experience. So let's get the old seat out and we'll see what we're working with. I also got the Corbeau brackets, which I've heard sit really tall, so I'm kind of expecting to have to hack them up a little bit to make them sit lower. Headroom isn't a luxury of this car, so where it is currently, the stock seat, I have enough, you know, a couple inches above my head. If I ever wanted to take this to a track though, or just for fun, a helmet might not be very good. So I'm really hoping that these sit at or maybe lower than stock. If they don't, so be it. Oh my God. Who put some cans there? It wasn't me. I honestly don't like power seats. They're convenient when you're in them, but like when you have someone else drive, unless you have seat memory, you're never gonna find where you were. They take forever to move, you gotta get behind them. And they weigh more, so weight reduction, bro. So I got resistors to eliminate the airbag signal from the airbag that's in these seats, but I've yet to buy an emulator for the passenger airbag weight sensor. There we go. So until I get that, there won't be a passenger airbag, and the light will probably blink, but another option would be to take the weight sensor out of the passenger seat and actually put it in the aftermarket seat. But I plan on trying to sell these because they're worth good money and they're in great shape. So I'm gonna try to keep them together if possible for now. But, you know. Oh, here's where I wish Ted was here now, but don't screw up the car. I never noticed there was a lumbar pad here. No way. How did I not notice that? Oh well. It's gonna look like all I do is deal with seats here. It's nuts. Now I also have the Corbeau seat bracket and rails here. These are the double rails. Not really sure, honestly, how these could get any lower than they are. I'll try them in the car and we'll see, but right here it looks to me like these are nice and slim, so we'll see. So I had a mini heart attack when I looked at how this was sitting in the car, clearly at a super angle, and realized that these don't fit, or they're going to make the seat really crooked. And then I noticed that the seatbelt was on this side. Even though this one says passenger on it, it's clearly the driver. So they were just labeled backwards. So they do sit fairly low. So that's really as low as that can go. And this is leveling it. The only thing I might be able to think of is maybe if the back sat lower, it would give the base a little more tilt, but it would sit lower in the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it up and try it. And if it's too high, I'm going to try to bend the back brackets to sit a little more flat, and I'll just re-drill these holes a little farther up. Make this not a 90, make it more like a slant, which will make it sit a little lower. But we'll try it first before I jump to any conclusions. So I got a little ahead of myself, and I just bolted that in real quick. Didn't film anything of it, sorry. But I mean, it looks really good. I mean, it fits in the car great. My only complaint with fitment so far is that where I tend to sit, I mean, this is only a problem for really tall people. This little free moving thing for the Z sits on the seat, so it might wear over time, but I will say that the sliders don't move back as far as the electronic mechanism. That's a big thing. So the seat might not be able to actually go back as far. But as for headroom's concerned, let me get in there. I still have some. I can't really tell if this is worse or better than it was before. I mean, I don't feel like I'm in a different spot, like at all. I do feel like I'm too close to the steering wheel. I'm not sure if I have enough real estate. I don't think I do. Dang. I'm feeling the bolts right now. I don't really have enough real estate to slide back anymore. Maybe I can with the sliders. We'll look. Maybe I can bolt the seat differently in the sliders. But that's actually the problem I'm having, not the other way around. I don't think I'm too high at all, actually. But the seat itself, like the structure of it on the back, flexes just a little. Like, if you push really hard on the dead pedal, I mean, I'm really pushing though. Like, I definitely would like more room than this. So I don't know what I'll be able to do if I can get a little more leg room. That's obnoxious. I was expecting headroom to be the issue. You know what I'll do? I'll measure from the roof to the seat bottom, and we'll see which one's lower. So on the driver's side, we have about 36 inches, including the tape measure. Exactly 36 inches. And on this side, we have 37. 37, including from the top. I mean, granted, this is definitely farther forward. I mean, if you measured at the same thing forward, but we're still, I don't know actually. It's 37 at the very base of the seat, but the seat's farther back. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll see if I can make it go back a little farther and lower. So I might end up just doing this to the driver's seat just because it's so minimal and you probably won't even notice it when the seats are next to each other. But I'm going to try to eliminate the height difference between the slider and this bracket. So I'm going to try to bend this angle out, which is hard to do, in such a way that this sits about level with this. So I bent up that side over there. Now it's more like a 45. And you can see when I line up the holes, it's sitting on this one over here because I haven't touched that one yet. If I do that the same thing the other side, I should be able to lower it by that amount right there, which, because it's so far back, will actually be a pretty big drop on the back of the seat. And I'm also going to try to relocate some of the holes that bolt up. I'm going to try to shift some of these holes back a little bit and elongate the holes that go to the slider and try to basically shift the seat back maybe another ½ inch or so and see what I can get out of it. But like I said before, I'm going to leave the passenger seat alone. So after I bent the crap out of the bracket, I was able to get the matching 34 inches or 37 inches out of this side. But now it's as low, if not a little lower than the other seat, which is sick. So it's been a few days. Sorry I didn't update the video, but I finally got around to putting the passenger seat in. Just like overall quality of these seats, they do have a little bit of flex. Like, I don't know if I can show you, but if I sat a little more forward, you can see that the seats do move a good amount, but where I sit all the way back, they're kind of locked in because of the rear shelf. But I don't know if you can see, but the passenger seat, like, has a good amount of movement. So overall, these seats are incredibly comfortable. They feel great. They have good bolstering. It's just the kind of the back flexes a little too much. For me, it's fine because I sit so far back. But just note that if you want to get these seats and you're going to be sitting up forward more, you're probably going to want to figure out a way to lock them in or get different seats. But overall, great first mod in the car. I'm stoked. So that's it for this video. Comment below if you guys want to see more videos about the Z or Ted Z or whatnot. If you just want to see more videos for the RX-7, yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see overall. Really helps me out when I make more videos and figuring out kind of what stuff I want to film. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like me and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.